Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Hey folks, this is episode number 179, and this week we have our good friend Jason Thomas Broderick on the show. How you doing, buddy?
What's up?
Woo.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
Get ready for Rockin' Pod, man.
Rockin' Pod? What are you talking about?
when is that? Is that
that's in like 2 days.
Right? Oh, 2 days.
Like 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
Not today, not tomorrow.
It's coming.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like
y'all got to get on the airplanes and drive and stuff. Right?
No. We be driving. Ain't no airplane in here.
Only 2 hours away. So.
Right.
All right. Before we get to that,
I'm a little further than that.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? What do you got? Anything? News? Got news? Any news?
Tool
got news?
Has a new song.
Oh, I saw that.
Dang it. I had it already, and then I got dumb. Let's see here. Fear Inoculum. It is on YouTube. I will post the link later.
Cool.
Well,
thanks for the warning.
Cool.
Can I say something about Tool?
Sure.
They're a bunch of fucking dickheads. No, what?
They're tools.
They're tools. No.
Well, I don't know really about all that, but all I know is if you've heard one song, you've heard them all. To me, it's just one big old song. I can't. They're all.
So what you're saying is Tool is the
album is one
AC/DC
big
of progressive
song.
rock.
Huh?
I said what you're saying is Tool is the AC/DC of progressive rock.
Hey, you said it, and I'll agree with it, though. I'll put the blame on you, and I'll say, yeah, I agree with Alan.
There you go.
Well, nothing I say ever goes viral, so I'm not too worried about it.
Right.
I think you've had things go viral before, but we're not talking about that. That's not this show.
Penicillin took care of it.
That's a different show.
All right. So anyway,
I don't websites myself.
there you go.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine, Dave Reed, who's been a friend of mine for many, many years. He gave me a message the other day saying, he lives in Florida, and he says, I just ran into like 10 buses going south by my house. He goes, I know it's KISS. So yes, they were down in, Sunrise, Florida, starting the next leg of the continuing, end of the road tour. So, like I said, I don't know how many shows is this next leg involved. Do you guys know for sure? I have no idea.
I know which show I'm going to. That's all I
know. I will be in Indianapolis.
Me too. I'll be in Indy.
August 31st. We're going to be there at the Deer Creek / Verizon / Eclipse
/ Ruoff.
Ruoff now.
Yeah.
But hey, did you notice though? I was out there, like I said, that last show at that Train concert. Their video screens, they changed their video screens on the outside now.
I haven't seen them.
Oh, from the Motley Crue that we saw with these little bitty, now they've got these humongous. So if we're out even in the lawn, which we're going to be anyway, they're going to look good too. And another thing is Kelly and I left early that night, and we got out to the car before the concert ended, and we sit over there in the Sleepy Bear campground in the car with the windows down. The concert sounded great. I told Kelly, I was like, you know what? If I lived close to there and I wanted to see a show, but I didn't want to pay the tickets to go see the show, I would pay $20 to go park there, sit
and listen
there
to the show,
and grill out, drink beer, basically just sit there and tailgate and listen to the show and hear a great show for $20. I mean, what? I mean,
and then you could pretend the two other guys are actually Ace and Peter. Right? That's what I would do.
There you go.
With that kind of money, yeah. For free, I'll make them be Wonder Woman if I want. If I'm out in the parking lot.
How was the Train show though? Did you how was that? Did you like it?
Was you not on the show that night?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't listen to the show, so.
No, I'm
usually on
Train,
it. So.
Train Good also. It was good. I'm not a big fan of Train, but they did a good show. I mean, it was a real good. Goo Goo Dolls sounded really, really good. And
I saw them 2 summers ago. I thought they were really good. I was pretty impressed, actually.
They're like I said, these shows continually to be the clearest shows. These new digital systems are just unfucking believable. They sound great. They get them. There's not this muddy bullshit halfway through the concert. And they keep fucking with it. I mean, it's clear as a bell from song 1 to the end. And Train's a very upbeat show. The guy's very, it's always very positive. There's no this downer shit going on, and it was a fun time. I had a good time. I really did.
Good. So unlike when I went to see Ace, where the sound was kind of muddy because he couldn't hear his monitors until the encore.
That was on purpose, probably.
That's what I'm like.
That was on purpose.
It's always on purpose.
We haven't had a show.
He bitches about that every single time. So
we haven't had a show since you saw them at the state fair.
Nope. That was
talk about that. I want to hear that.
That was last week. So he played the free stage at the Indiana State Fair, and it was supposed to start at 7. It started at 7:30. And it was just him. So, I mean, well, not just him, but it was him and Phil and, Jeremy and Ryan and Todd.
Matt Starr.
There you go. I keep wanting to call him Todd. I don't know why. Anyway, Matt Starr. They sounded great. The band sounded great. That band is killer. And Ace was a little slurry at first, so everybody kind of like look around going, But it kind of cleared up, and it was not bad. But he sounded really good. He complained a lot about the sun because it was.
Oh, the show was early. I mean,
we were sitting with our backs to the sun, and he was in the sun. He's like, "I sure hope that damn thing goes down up there." Yeah, exactly. He's like, "I hope that thing goes down so we can use some lights." And so it didn't really go down much, but we had great seats. A friend of ours went. A couple of friends of ours went early. They got there at like 2:00 because they went and did some fair stuff, but they put a blanket down, so we actually had front row of the regular seats that they had, because there was in front of us was the handicap section. So I almost saw 2 or 3 fights because he'd throw out picks and people would just try to beat the shit out of each other to get a pick and shove each other around and step on people's hands, and it was actually pretty brutal. I haven't seen it like that before, or not for a long time. And then so near the end of the show, he goes off, changes a shirt right behind a set of speakers, which that's a glorious thing. They put a set of speakers there while he was changing his shirt because nobody wants to see it. And he comes back out, he's got a water bottle, takes a couple drinks out of it, throws it out in the crowd, and I caught it in the air right before it smacked Lisa in the head. So I have a
you're not allowed to see Kiss ever again.
Yeah. So I have an Ace Frehley water bottle souvenir, which is kind of cool. So that's added to my. Cool. Lisa goes, "What are you gonna do with that?" And I said, "I'm putting it with my other stuff." She goes, "It's a water bottle." I'm like, I know. So get off.
Exactly.
Yep. So yeah, it was a good show. It was. He played for an hour and 20 minutes, maybe 20.
So about 25. Like what he did in Nashville, about same.
Yeah, maybe. I think in Nashville he played a little bit longer, but yeah, it was close to that. But yeah, the sound was good, and yeah. It was
seeing the pictures of him playing in the daylight. It's like, man, it's just, I know that's hard to do. That's just, that's tough. That is really tough. And for Ace is probably not used to being up at that time of day. Usually he'll be getting up and playing.
He played. Drugs didn't even kick in, but then.
Yeah, he played an Eddie Money cover too, which was interesting.
Really?
Yep. He goes,
I heard he's going to put that out.
I thought he said he already cut it, but I don't think he has. So I don't think he has though.
He's done another Origins that's coming out.
Huh?
Is this how I do this, like school? Or?
You can just
you just got to butt in because these guys don't shut up.
Oh, hey, I saw him on the Bad Boys of Rock tour back in, when was that?
95.
Peter and Ace were together. Right. In like a little bitty club, got 328 Performance Hall in Nashville, and it's gone now. But that used to be where everybody came. I saw the Black Crowes there too. When they were still not big enough to play bigger places.
Sure.
But the Bad Boys Rock Tour was fun. Hey, seeing Ace is always fun. You know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And he's got a band now that's so good.
Right.
He don't even have to halfway play if he don't want to. They're covering everything for him. So it just helped him sound even better. And all those guys are from Nashville too,
Which we will be seeing those guys actually Friday night if you're going to be there at the Rockin' Pod.
Yep. What's that? Rockin' Pod.
Are we segueing?
I don't know. Does anybody else got?
Well, are we going to show off any vinyl record purchases for the week or anything like that?
I have nothing. I don't have anything except.
Oh my God! The world is going to stop spinning right dead on its axis. Dennis didn't buy any records.
You know why I didn't? Because I know I'm going to go to Nashville, and I've already talked to our guest, and he's bringing me.
I've got a stack for y'all.
Well,
okay. So here's what I got this week.
Prepaid.
Hold on a second. It's Bill's turn.
Yeah, Bill's going to segue into this.
All right.
Oh my God!
I picked up Ozzie Diver Mad.
Pull that back a little bit. There you go.
That looks good too.
Yep, and it's in pretty good shape. It's got a couple wear. Probably paid more than I should have for it, but
what you get for it?
It's good. $7.
Oh. No, dude, you stole that thing.
You stole it, dude. You stole it.
Yeah.
All right, and then I've been looking for this, and I got this too.
Oh my God! Ooh. Look, Alan.
He's got Dennis's pants on.
What press is that?
This is a. You know what? I think it's
Electra.
Yes, it's Electra pressing. So it's not the first pressing; it's the Electra.
Not
pressing.
A record club, is it? Columbia House or RCA?
No, I don't see it. I don't see a Columbia House label on it anywhere. But yeah, it is electric. It is an Electra club. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But so I think it's a second pressing. $25.
That's not a. That's still good.
But I was looking at it on Discogs and stuff, and it was like 24. So I'm like, I'm just going to get it.
No,
that's before shipping,
Yeah.
30. So you did good.
Okay.
See, you got the record gene. I mean, he's the expert telling you dig. Oh. I like that.
Iron Maiden.
Oh my God.
Live After Death.
Man, you did good.
Guess how much I paid for this?
$17.
That's a double. It's a double album, right?
Yeah. Live.
$15.
$15.
You did good.
Did real good on that one, and it's in mint, man. It is now. It is a club record.
Okay, well, it's still a $25 record.
Yeah.
So what I was looking record all day long.
Yep. So
I'll be seeing those guys in 2 weeks.
I might be stealing a ride. I might be stealing a spot next to you. Right. I haven't decided. I listened to that the other day, and I was like, "Man, that was really good."
So, if we're we'll talk about Rockin' Pod at the end. Let's get into talking about records, and since we already have this what is the difference between a record club record and a one that was done at Columbia House in Terre Haute compared to a record that was printed through the company? I mean, I know that there's. That's why. That's why we got the master on here. You can tell us, and what is the difference in like pricing and quality too? That's what we want to know.
Here's the deal with that is Columbia House was one company, and then there was RCA Record Club, which is another company. They both charged a penny, and we all ripped them off. They never got nothing out of us. They could come for us, but those were the two, RCA and Columbia House. Well, those companies had access to pressing plants of their own. So when you order something from Columbia House, especially not so much in the 80s, but in the early 90s when everybody quit buying records, you could still get 8 tracks and records from Columbia House and RCA because they would print them and make them to order. So once everybody quit buying records, they still carried records, but they didn't have them there. So if you ordered like, what's something come out in 91, 92? A lot of stuff from 91, 92, a lot of the hair metal and stuff, those were made, but there's some records where the only version there is on vinyl is Columbia House and RCA Record Club because everybody else quit doing them. So you could get, certain things, I can't think of it right now, but anything from like 89 to like 92, 93, they would make you the 8-track or the record of it. So like Van Halen for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Pretty much the only version you're going to find is an import, or USA it's going to be Columbia House or RCA. Because in 91, nobody was making records. But if somebody that was in that club said, "Hey, I want that on vinyl," they'd press it just for them. So like Mr. Big, a lot of your bands from the early 90s, there aren't many records made. And if there are, it's because 10 people ordered them from Columbia House. And that's the only 10 out there.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
So, yeah. So Columbia, now usually Columbia House and RCA, it makes them worth a little less because they're not known for the quality as much. But with that said, most stuff I can't tell. Most of it still sounds good to my ears.
Mm-hmm.
So some stuff you have to get the record club version or else you just don't get it.
Wow.
So when, in that case, it makes them go up. But in normal cases, like, something like Fleetwood Mac or Billy Squire, the common stuff, all that is, $5, $10 less on a Columbia House. But if you get into the early 90s, that stuff's like $70, $80, $100 records.
Right. The Book Broker, which is a place here in town that I get stuff from, I remember years ago when you took stuff to them, that's the first thing they looked at. Is it because a lot of us, being, Terre Haute was right up, 2 hours from right here. So everybody was in those fucking clubs, And
if you get on Discogs and look stuff up, a lot of times they say it Terre Haute pressing. That'll be how you know what pressing you got. It'll be in the runoff.
Gotcha. But they were always, whenever you traded stuff in, there would be less money. They would always give you less money.
It was right up the road.
Right.
That was a local thing. Now, here it doesn't matter. But when you're right up the road from the pressing plant, this is made right up the road. Who cares? Which is where? What state is it?
Indiana.
Indiana, okay. So now I know I learned something from y'all. Terre Haute is Indiana pressing.
Yeah. Actually, both of them. So BMGs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's RCA.
Yeah, and that's in Indianapolis. So they were both pressed in Indiana.
So and more than likely, that pressing plant only worked for the record clubs. More than likely. I don't know that for sure.
I would think so.
Well, the one at Fruit Ridge, it was on Fruit Ridge Avenue in Terre Haute. They were a pressing plant. I mean, that's where they pressed
everything. Yeah,
exactly. So that was Columbia House. Now they may even press stuff. I know BMG was actually a competitive record club.
They were separate companies.
Right.
Yeah.
To that. So
Jason, talk a little bit about. So obviously, if you're watching video, you'll see Jason's got records behind him and LPs and stuff like that. You seem to know a little bit about this whole deal. So for those people that aren't watching on video, so talk about what do you do? How do you know about all this stuff?
Wow. Let me try to give you a short version. When I was 7 years old, for real, I grew up. I had aunt and uncles that were high school age. And then when they would go to school, I would raid the rooms and mess up their records and their 8-tracks. I was 12 or 13 before I realized that Freebird by Skinner wasn't busted up into 2 parts. I heard it on 8-track first. And I learned to read off 45s,
Right. And
behind me, I got these Japanese records, which we'll get into that. That's a whole other thing. But, I've just always loved records. And they were my toys when I was a kid, basically. And when everybody else quit buying them, I still bought CDs and cassettes, but I'd still get records too, and kept everything. And I worked in the music industry for about 20 years, different parts of it, guitar companies and sales, different things. And I was getting custody of my daughter, and I was like, I can't work 50, 60 hours away from home no more, just me and her, So I'm like, well, instead of giving these people, I'm just making commissions selling these $3,000 guitars every day, instead of getting $50 of it. I thought, I got enough records to start. So I just kind of started doing it. And out here where I live, I've always done it. But out here where I live, it's not city limits. So, that's the one bill I don't have to do. And I called Record Store Day and some distributors, like the big distributors. There's a pressing plant in Nashville, URP. And they're like, well, to use us, you have to have a brick and mortar store. So I went and bought a building from somebody, had it moved out here, and it's in my backyard. And I said, hey, I called them back. Hey, I got a brick and mortar store now. So, and here I am like 7 years later, and I send stuff all over the world, and it's really cool. I love the main reason I do it. I make a little money. I make enough to live, and I'm home with my child. That's the main thing. But I get a kick out of turning people on to stuff they've never heard or stuff they maybe hadn't given a chance, or so I always try to get stuff that you can't get in Nashville or other places, you know, stuff that if I've never seen it before, people probably hadn't, you know, and I got some of that stuff here I'll show, but yeah, I just love it because used to I'd say, oh, I've got a copy of that, and now I say, oh, I sold one of those, you know, it's a salesman thing, you know, but I really like turning on people on to stuff they hadn't heard before, and I'm sure you guys are the same as me. I could tell you every record in my collection. I tell you where I got it. You know, usually you go, oh, I got this and wherever, and I got this from so and so, and so, you know, just my DNA is everywhere.
Ew.
That's kind of gross. I think Dennis has the same problem.
but with a different thing.
Yeah, whatever. So with the Japanese records behind you, you're not in Japan. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not in Japan. No. I got a man from Japan.
A man from Japan.
I have a question for you, Jason.
Yeah.
What does JTB?
Huh? Oh.
Is there a story behind calling your store JTB?
Well, that's just my initials, but it's really not a story. But I don't know. When I was growing up, I just wrote my initials everywhere. If I worked somewhere, a factory or a plant, if you work there now, you might see JTB written somewhere. And I just was throwing my initials everywhere. And when I went to, and it's a joke, before I had the store, it was on Facebook, it was a place to check into, JTB's Groovy Record Room. And it was like the back room where I kept my records, in the house.
Right.
Then it turned into this because I had some following from that. So I'm like, well, I'll just keep that. And I was like, I want to drop the initials thing, right? And really, I didn't know. So I went and got my business license, and I was looking up, and there was some record store somewhere else, I don't know where, some other state, that was called the Groovy Record Room. So I thought, well, I'll put my initials back on the front. And so now I throw my initials in front of a radio station I got. Anything I want to do, a band, the JTB3 or whatever, whatever I want to do pertaining to all this, I can just throw my initials on the front of it. So it kind of worked, in a way. But y'all can call me Jason.
Right.
I mean, JTB.
Hey, Jason, where do you get most of your, do you get you buy collections from people and stuff like that? How do you get most of your used stuff? I mean, is it, or do you go to sales and?
No, I don't really well, I used to, and then I got too busy, and I'm the only one here. Right. So while everybody's at sales and stuff, I'm here, and gotcha. I can go I can sit here all day by myself, go up the store and back, ring, ring, I'm by your store, where you at? So I'm kind of like on call, like a doctor or something.
Right.
I'm stuck at home, minding the store, but I get calls where I inherit a collection. Yeah, bring them by, look at them, buy them. Just different ways, really. I mean, I've got connections to for the new stuff, like any store does, and then I've got connections that a lot of other stores don't have, just from being into this so long that I can kind of look things. But yeah, a lot of trade-ins, that kind of stuff. And then as far as I got certain dealers for certain things, for new stuff and import stuff. And like my guy from Japan, that was basically a lie. When I first started that, I was ordering records from Japan because I was getting into them because I realized they make our records sound like cassettes most of the time because they were mastered in Japan. They were from back then, like 89, 90s when they quit, just like everybody else. But like all the Kiss records with the OB and all that stuff everybody wants, those sound better than our records. And the 100% virgin vinyl, which back then nobody did that but them. So that makes them play quiet like a CD. And then a smaller runoff groove, that's another factor because it's spread out more. And the main thing is, even the paper's better, but the main thing is they were mastered in Japan by their engineers. And those guys didn't know who Kiss was or Van Halen. They just were doing their job, making them sound as good as they could on the next one. And I'll A-B them to people, and their mouth drops open. They're like, oh, my God. So if you want the best sounding version of anything, if it was made in Japan, that's the one you want. But when I first started getting them, I was just getting them off, eBay and stuff. And I wasn't making any money. I was just getting them to get them, for fun. And people would always ask me, where are you getting all these Japanese imports? I get that all the time. Where do you get all this stuff? Where do you get all this stuff? Do you ask Walmart where they get their stuff? So I'm like, really? I'm a business dude. Yeah, I'm in my backyard, but it's a real business. It kind of gets on my nerves. But so I said, I got a man for Japan, right? I got a man from Japan. Well, I didn't have no man from Japan. So I kept getting them. The lie get bigger, And people was like, man, so does he live in Nashville and he just lives here and brings you this stuff, or do you order him? I just got a man from Japan, just to shut him up. And it worked for a while. Well, then lo and behold, eventually, I think I willed this to happen. I met a guy through a Van Halen community on Facebook. He wanted some shirts I had, but he didn't want to pay all the shipping because it was going to be more than the shirts. And I was like, well, you want to do some trading? And he goes, yeah, well, what do you think about these? He sent me all these pictures of Japanese records. And I was like, yeah, let's do some trading. So we did that. And then after that went smooth. I said, hey, man, do you want to be like my man from Japan? Like, now on?
He became the man.
And so now about 1 o'clock in the morning, about twice a month, I get a little picture of 7 or 8 albums I just mark. I go back with the pen, and there and send it back to them and mark the ones I want. And I get up and I pay him and I go back to bed.
Wow, that's crazy.
Japan.
So the man for Japan is real. The hashtag is real.
Well, I'm actually, like I said, I talked to you earlier in the week, and I pre-bought a couple of records because you're going to be at the Rockin' Pod this weekend, and I did pre-buy a couple albums, and one of them is a Japanese version of Dawkins' Tooth and Nail. So I'm curious to see. My friend has a version of that. Is that it?
Oh, no, that's Breaking the Chains.
That's Breaking the Chains, yeah.
This is the only way.
Anyway.
We got to talk outside of the show then, don't we?
Yeah, we got, yeah.
That's a great record. How much is it? How much is that?
Yeah, so anyway.
I got 35 on it, but I'll let y'all have it for less.
Y'all can have it for $34.50.
Yeah, exactly. $34.95.
But anyway, but like I said, I'm curious to get that because I have a friend that has a really good copy of just a regular one. So I'm going to AB it, and I'll let you know. We'll see how much. There you go. That's a nice
Rockin' Pod alumni right there.
Yeah, there you go. On
Keel.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what else do you have in there besides metal? I mean, do you have country? Do you have everything in there or in the store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little bit of everything. I got a pile here. I'm bringing the Rockin' Pod. Y'all want to go through that? Or?
Yeah, share that.
Yeah, post a few that's going to be up there.
Anyway.
When you were there last year next to us, you had a light blue T-shirt that you were selling, and I was going to buy one of them, but I can't remember. And I'm trying to this day. I was thinking about that. I can't remember what was on the front of it, but it was like
Best Buy Record Room shirt.
Huh?
Best Buy
shirt.
No, it wasn't Best Buy, dickhead. No, it wasn't that. It had something else on it. It had a band on it or something.
I like that middle of nowhere Tennessee.
Hey, do you know what that is? That is, Goldmine Magazine?
Right.
Goldmine Magazine was like the internet to buy records overseas before there was internet. It was a big old magazine. It was like huge. It was like newspaper paper. And they were huge. And I got them all the time growing up. Well, one day I come outside and there's a dude out front taking pictures of my building. And I'm like, what, So we just got to talking, and he said, "You ever heard of Goldmine Magazine?" And like I said, that was like the Bible. That was the internet before there was internet for records.
Sure.
And he goes, I said, yeah. I used to go blind trying to read that because it would be just a page this big with little bitty writing where you could order stuff from overseas. And he said, well, I'm from Goldmine Magazine. I'm Dr. Dis. I'm like, all right. He said, we're going to do a story on your store. Well, at the time, my store wasn't painted white yet. Goldmine's the reason why I painted it because he started taking pictures and they put it out. And I was like, oh, it looks like a little shack. It looks awful, So I took a week or two off and I painted the place and made it look good. So it come out in Goldmine Magazine. Well, then they get on Instagram, which I was like flabbergasted, right? Because I grew up buying Goldmine. I had a script and everything, I mean, that was the record collecting thing. And here, my little store, my backyard is in the magazine, So I was like, wow, it's pretty cool.
That's cool, man.
I just wish the store looked better in the pictures. But anyway, they put it on Instagram and said, come read about a record store in the middle of nowhere. Click here. So they didn't say Cotton Town. They didn't say north of Nashville. They said middle of nowhere. I thought, said, well, I'll just, if it's good enough for gold mine, you know.
That's awesome. I like that.
So
that's cool, man.
I like that.
If you got a 2X of that, bring it with you.
I'm waiting on my T-shirt guy. He's kind of slow. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll have some.
Well, show us some of that vinyl you're bringing down there. Then we want to see some of this. We may
all right, y'all ready?
We might buy it all right now.
Just put all that on hold.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Here's one for you. I showed the other day.
Wow.
Try to get the glare out of it. This is
first and second.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
It's a German pressing of the first 2 albums.
Right.
But people go, oh, well, big deal, you know, and it gate folds, it opens up, it's nice. But people go, big deal. So now here's the big deal. You ever heard of the Robert Ludwig mixes for Zeppelin 2? Robert Ludwig mixed Zeppelin 2. He mixed it so hot that in the 69, 70 when it come out, it made people's needles jump and skip.
Right.
So
wow.
they people called to complain. They said, oh, Robert Ludwig, you got to quiet this shit down, right? So he goes, okay. So he quieted down the second side, which must have been the one with the issue first, apparently. But he left the first side. They put it back out. No, Robert Ludwig, you got to fix both sides. Make them both quiet. Okay? This is this German pressing. They used the stamper from the first time he fixed it. So if you get this record, you get the Robert Ludwig mix of side 1 of Zeppelin 2, which is Whole Lot of Love and that kind of stuff.
Right.
You get that hot mix. Do you know how much the hot mix would cost you both sides by itself? Like $250.
Wow.
Wow.
You can get this one at Rocket Pod for 75, 65, something like that.
That's pretty
You
cool.
can get half a RL for less than half the money. Because anybody's got RL, they paid through the nose for it, you know.
Right.
But here's the way you look for it too. On the run out groove, it's going to have a hard RL, like typewriter letters, like capital letters, RL on Zeppelin 2. If it's got a 4-digit number, if it's got a 5-digit number, it ain't going to have it. If it's a 4-digit number, every copy of Zeppelin 2 you get, look for that RL on there, because that's like $150 to $250 record.
Really? Wow.
And it really does sound that much better. I mean, the one side of this makes the other 3 sides not sound as good.
That's awesome.
But they used the stamper from the first time in Germany. And that's just
before the correction.
You know, that's those record people facts that, you know, whatever.
Right.
All right.
That's awesome.
Here we go. This is Rolling Stones, the acoustic stuff on a double record. This is new and sealed. It comes with the DVD and everything. Like an $80 record.
Right.
You know. This, another weird one. I'm like, I found this, like, holy crap. I try to get stuff nobody knew existed.
Wow.
You know? So I didn't know this existed. This is, you know, the Rolling Stones album with the crotch and the zipper. And all
that. That's a totally different version. I mean,
yeah.
This is that album, but this is the Spain 1980.
I was going to say, because it says Estereo on it, so it must be Spanish or... Yeah,
wow. Spain, and I love the fingers, and
that's kind of gross.
Cover. But in
gross,
1980, in 1980 in Spain, they wouldn't let them put it out over there. They made them take Sister Morphine off or replace it with another song too. But the only way you can get this is in Spain. They did a 2-album version of it in 2015 too, but it ain't worth what this one is. But that's the Spain 1980 version of Sticky Fingers.
Wow, that's interesting. Cool.
And I'm going to have that with me, too.
All right.
Here's the Who, which is my favorite Who album because it's the heaviest. Live at Leeds. But this is the expanded version.
Right.
On red, white, and blue vinyl. 3 albums.
Wow. How much is that one?
$40. When we put it in your pile.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I do like I've seen that concert.
This video is turning me like you're working y'all over and making piles.
I feel like we're getting shook down, man. We're getting shook down here.
I ship stuff all the time.
No, not we. Y'all
don't even have a pocket pod.
Hey, I had a Brenda Lee record that wasn't worth $1 here. but I put it on Discogs, and somebody from China bought it for $30.
Right.
So, you know, you just don't ever know. For the Cheap Trick crowd on Cheap Talk.
Right.
That's another good podcast. This is a live show. Sounds real good.
Cool.
That.
It's unique. I like different stuff like that. That's cool.
That's a TRex import, best of kind of thing. I got a little radio station I do, and I'm working on like a TRex show, like Westwood One, like where they have interviews where you hear the music behind them, and then the music fades back, and then they talk. And I'm working on putting that together for my radio show, but yeah, it's kind of slow moving. If you never heard the first 2 Jeff Beck group albums, do yourself a favor and get them.
That's somebody I've never really got into. I've never even tried to get into that. So I guess I need to download some of that stuff.
Well, because you heard the wrong stuff. That jazz fusion shit he did later wasn't no good. This is like Zeppelin with Rod Stewart.
But that's with Ronnie and Ronnie Wood and all those guys. Yeah, that shit's good. See, that's before he got.
This is the first 2 on one album.
Wasn't Jeff Beck part of the Small Faces?
Yeah.
No, Jeff Beck wasn't.
He wasn't part of the Small Faces, no.
Rod Stewart was, but I thought
Ronnie Wood.
The Small Faces, and they turned into the Faces.
Okay.
The original Small Faces, the singer that left formed Humble Pie.
Oh yeah.
I got some Small Faces here. Here we go.
There you go.
Oh, look at that.
That's a big penis on that album cover. Look at that. Does it shock your penis?
I never noticed that before. I don't know.
But now look at it. You're never going to look at that ever. Look at it the same.
No, you ruined it. Now it's $5.
Totally destroyed it.
It's ginormous.
I hope Tesla's drummer shows up Saturday and just punches you right in the throat, Dennis.
And you know what he's going to say? You know what he's going to say? You know what? I know what you're talking about. It's a big penis with lightning bolts falling out.
He's not going to say that.
Night Ranger. There you go.
Say, what is that? Punch you in the face.
I think they only print like 1,000 of these. It's on blue vinyl. It's a show from 95 live in Japan.
It's awesome.
Great show.
That'd be a cool record.
How much is that one?
$30.
All right. Let's keep it going.
I got y'all's pile separate right now. I'm separated. It's right here.
I think we show interest in is like just put it aside. I don't even know what that is.
Pentagram. It's like American version of Sabbath.
Yeah.
It's not as good. But I mean, it's still cooler. There's a movie on YouTube you can watch called Last Days Here.
Right.
Crackhead. It's crazy.
Huh.
But you watch the movie. They had kids come see them in their basement, and dude was too fucked up to impress them. Yeah. Look the movie up.
Ace and Peter probably thought it was the most spectacular thing ever.
What was it?
I don't think
Jason, what was the name of the movie again? So I can write it down.
Last Days Here, Pentagram Story.
Last Day is Here?
Bobby, I forgot his last name. They just played here in Nashville, and Bobby actually showed up to sing here. He was the one with the problem. But they had so many chances to do something throughout the years, and his drug addiction just messed it up, you know.
It up. Okay,
that's some good Doom, like Sabbath kind of stuff. Here's some Pink Floyd import.
I'm not a Pink Floyd fan.
You know what? When you first held that up, I thought it was like the Schoolhouse Rock thing. Look at that.
Yeah, it's got that same look.
Like that, don't it?
It's actually that's Relic Cell. I'm not a.
I want a damn. You got a damn Yankees record in there? I want the damn Yankees first record.
Man, that's a hard find.
I know. I've been looking all over
from another country because they didn't make many here. Robert Johnson, Soul to the Devil.
Oh man,
Robert John, that's awesome.
Here's early Thin Lizzy.
Wow, that's cool.
I like to have live.
They really didn't sound like Thin Lizzy yet.
Right, that's good. Decca.
Cool.
I've seen that. I saw that a couple of weeks ago somewhere.
I'm curious to see if y'all agree here.
All right.
To me, this is one of the best hard rock albums of the 80s ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got that on CD, actually.
Dude. Yeah, this album.
Yeah, that's awesome. How much you want for that?
Face off. 30, because it's like brand new.
All right.
It's in your pile. It's in your pile.
Hey, Alan, can you like give in some?
I couldn't pay, pal. I'll give my email out in a minute.
We're getting Saxon. What's
tell me now.
Which one's this one? Saxon what? I can't.
I don't know.
It's so jerky.
It's like moving it around too much.
Yeah, it is. It's moving around too much. What's on that song? What's the song? What's the first song on it?
Rainbow theme. Frozen rainbow. Are they talking about ice cream? Big. I don't know much about Saxon. I know they did a cool.
Nah, that's not one of the albums I'm looking for. So anyway, I'm looking for something.
Just that one's Saxon's Desserts.
So I'll put that in your pile.
No, I don't want that one in my pile.
Too bad. You're buying it anyway. Shut up.
What's a hint?
Jimmy talking to you.
Square deal.
Okay.
That's $2. I'll take that.
Oh, last in line.
I have that.
How much is that one?
20.
Oh, I've got that. I don't. I rather have Holy Diver. No, I don't put that.
That's a Mexican meal at lunchtime. That's all that is.
Mexican meal at lunchtime.
$20. You go spend that at Taco Bell, man.
You spend $20 at Taco Bell. You better have bought.
That's what I spent at Taco Bell.
What was that? Over the edge. I want to see that. Pull that back up.
That's Monster Energy drinks. That's what I want to know.
Wow. There we go.
Amazing movie. This movie is Cheap Trick, Van Halen. I
remember that movie. Right.
Jimi Hendrix. This movie would come out on cable when I was a little kid. And these kids, it's Matt Dillon's first movie.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
You weren't that little. You weren't that little of a kid.
Yeah. They locked the parents and the teachers in the school, and they burned the cars.
I remember that.
Wow, I can't wait to get to junior high. You know? And when I got to junior high, I was so disappointed. Because I thought it was going to be like this. But yeah, I'm warped.
Oh, shit. It's like, man, I was promised over the edge. What's going on with this? I need to talk to the principal. Do we have HR? Give me HR down here right now, because give me my counselor.
Back to your mama said, I think I went to the wrong school.
I watch it about once a month just to remind myself, you know.
Give me Matt Dillon's publicist right now, because he promised me something that I didn't get.
That's insane.
That is funny. Nah, I don't want that. I'm not a big Slayer guy.
I'm not a metal guy either, really.
Yeah. I don't like metal, but I'm just not a big Slayer guy.
Well, Slayer live in Argentina.
It's a nice record though.
Ian or Wadzilla and them will want it probably.
Yeah, they'll want it.
Yeah, they'll love that shit.
I'll put it in their pile.
Yeah. Put all that shit
Ian,
in their pile.
Wadzilla, y'all got a pile now too.
Yeah, they'll like that.
Here's a Runaway CD, the brand spanking new, still sealed.
Wow.
Record company. It's like that Cheap Trick when they put out not long ago. It's all the singles from Japan.
Wow.
This is all the A and B sides from Japan that they put out as singles on one CD.
Wow.
Well, if you guys stick around after the Rockin' Pod Expo is over, you'll get to see Dennis and I perform one of those songs.
Yeah, Cherry. Yeah, we're doing.
You're getting ready to say Cherry Pie, weren't you?
Fucker. Cherry Bomb.
Nobody wants to see you do Cherry Pie or.
She's mine. No. Anyway. That's awesome.
No.
There you go.
Oh, that's cool.
Holy. We ain't got to say nothing about that.
That's nice.
That's pretty cool.
Don't say nothing. That's a good one. There you
go.
That's
one of the coolest album covers I've ever seen.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool. Guitar Boogie.
I grew up, you get this album real cheap, beat up. And when I was learning to play guitar in the 80s, I was there for the hair metal. I saw Cinderella headline. And a big piano come down. I'm like, they're headlining. They got all this stuff. I couldn't believe it even then. I knew that those bands wasn't as good as what I heard in the 70s when I was a kid.
Right.
Nothing against it. But, I mean, there's some good hair metal, but a lot of that stuff to me don't really stand the test of time too much. Right. So while that stuff was big, before grunge come in, I was listening to blues and stuff. I was learning to play guitar. So I was listening to stuff just to help me learn. At one time, I knew every lick on this record about all three of those guys.
That's pretty cool.
Because this whole album has no singing. It's just them jamming together.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I haven't either.
Yeah, so there's straight licks. And I used to jam along with that all the time.
Alan was falling asleep. He's like,
Alan's like.
I am not an instrumental music kind of guy at all.
Yeah, that's good.
But I was just learning licks, you know.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
That's good. This is like the UK best of the UK box set with all the unreleased tracks put on 2 records.
So how many albums are you going to be bringing down to the Rockin' Pod? Just
Wait a
give us
wait a minute.
Oh, dude, I'm bringing the whole store.
You're bringing the whole store. Good. That's cool.
Go back to that free record for a minute.
I ain't gonna bring the Goodwill stuff.
Bill, it's only free as in the name of the band. You still have to pay for the record.
That looked like Dave Gilmour.
That's pretty cool. How much is that one?
I do like 50.
Oh.
It took me years to get that.
Come on, Bill. You put that on.
Unlike Dennis,
Put it on the pile, Bill. Put it on the pile.
Free was
Put it in a pile.
It ain't free. It ain't free though.
Bad Company before they was Bad Company. He was a singer from Bad Company.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to.
But the guitar player and bass player were totally different, and they're a totally different group. I mean, to me, they're better than Led Zeppelin. I don't know why people don't play Free on the radio like they do Led Zeppelin. That's my same thing with T-Rex.
All Right Now is probably one of my favorite songs.
I don't get
All Right Now is probably one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah, that is good. Oh my God! Wait! What do we got here? Oh, what we got? What is that?
I can't get the glare off of it. Crap.
No, you got,
it's pre-Sammy Hagar Van Halen.
It's Van Halen. I know that.
Van Halen live at Monsters of Rock in Castle Donington in '84.
Badass.
They were shitty at that point, though.
Yeah, and they recorded great either.
Yeah, I don't want that. Yeah, I've got enough recordings of them in that time. They were terrible.
So I'm putting that in your pile, then.
No, it's not in my pile. Put it in the shit pile. There you go. Hey, there's some.
Yes, well, it's recorded. I've sold several versions of this over the last couple of years. They all had different covers, but it's all the same show. It's live in Nashville from '78 with Bon Scott. Off the radio, off KDF, which was our station here. That was the rock station growing up.
I remember that.
And it's off 8, and it was for an industry insider party.
Right.
So it's soundboard, but no audience hardly. There's like 20 people there.
How's the quality on it, though? Really good?
Killer. It's like store-bought almost.
What's the price on that one?
It's off the radio.
$100.
I'll go with that.
No, what is it?
The 100 sounds great compared to what I was going to say.
What were you going to say? That's what I want.
40. $40.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on the pile, and I'll think about it. And I'll let you know the first thing in the morning before you start selling. I'll let you know, because I have to figure out what I can get away with.
TRex, best of import. TRex is a one-hit wonder here, but over in England they're like the Beatles.
Oh yeah, he was huge.
So I mean, I love all that stuff, and I can kind of that's
okay. Hey, let's move along.
Move along.
Dennis had
I'm
asked.
done anyway.
Dennis had asked you about how many records you were bringing.
You said you were bringing the whole store, but you're not going to bring the whole store, though, right?
No. I'll probably bring 700-800 maybe.
Cool. Oh, we'll love looking through them. And we got a couple quick. I got a quick. What is your most expensive album you have in your store? What is your like? Whoa?
Well, it changes all the time.
Well, I know, but what do you have now? What is your most expensive album you have right now?
Probably that Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones I showed you right now.
Cool.
I got the Bon Jovi, the original Slippery When Wet cover.
Wow.
Banned in the USA.
Right. Wow.
Japanese. That's $50.
Right.
50. I might have something worth 100 every now and then, but for the most part, everything's
right.
Whatever.
What's the holy grail that you have never seen that you would like to get a hold of?
Oh wow.
I mean, is there something that you've
for
wanted
myself for the store?
Yeah, I mean, something that you've heard about, like to get, and would like to get a hold of one of them, or at least, is there something that elusive?
That's a hard one because I've been at this so long.
Right.
When I started doing this for like the public, I thought I had everything I really wanted, But
Sure.
now I got all these contacts. I see stuff. I get emails every day with catalogs. I'm like, oh crap, I need that. So now I'm still buying shit for myself when I shouldn't. Because I didn't, I know about things I wouldn't have.
Jason's pile.
Yeah. I don't know. I got that Black Crowes album, Before the Frost, the white and green vinyl version. That's like a $200 record. I got one of those. Beck Sea Change. If anybody had their heart broke, listen to Beck Sea Change. It's like Bob Dylan's what's that one heartbreak album of his, but it's better.
No
I can't
idea.
think of the name of it right now. Somebody will know. That Beck album's great. It's like really laid back and acoustic mostly, and it's great. That's like a $200 record.
Right.
I sold a record by a guy named Richie Adams. It was a Northern Soul. It was a 45, and it was a white label promo. Looked it up. Somebody bought one for $1,000. Mine had some little dots on it. Mine sold for $680.
Wow.
Get out of here.
For 45.
That's the tip. If it's something you never heard of and they didn't make much of, that's where the
Look it up. And look it up for look it up and see what's going on.
Look them all up, because you don't ever know.
When I go to these, like I said, these little Trader Baker places and stuff like that. And I know these guys that have records, they know what's good, but they may fuck up at some point.
They miss stuff. Everybody misses stuff.
So I take my phone with me, and well, I mean the stuff you got just this week, Bill.
That record, that Iron Maiden record,
$15.
$15 for that. Yeah, that's a.
Well, I sold a beat up copy with the poster, but everything was beat up. The records, everything was beat up. I sold it for $12, and dude was tickled to death. Right. If I went to another store somewhere, they probably had 20 on it. I try to sell stuff for what's fair, what I would pay for it, what I think's fair.
Right. So like I said, we always go. Bill and I mean, Alan doesn't, but Bill and I go to these trader places all the time, stuff, and we see the same copies of. What do you think is the most? What album or what artist is the most socked away in bins? You know what I'm saying? Not owned by people, but just like buy me kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Stuff you see everywhere for cheap.
Yes, and I mean like you go. Linda Ronstadt seems to be the one around here.
Very Manilow,
Linda Ronstadt. You can get her whole catalog for under $10. And I love Linda.
Right.
That's just the way it is. When Glenn Campbell died, his shit went up to $5, $10 a piece. He's been in the dollar bin my whole life till he died. What's up, I mean, I'm not saying nothing bad about their music. These people are great, but Herb Alpert, Whipped Cream.
Oh my God. You can find that album everywhere you go. There's that album. That one store in Lexington, actually, remember, Bill? They had that album, and they had like different messed up copies, faded copies. The whole wall was Herb Alpert and the Whipped Cream one. And I just went the other day over to Watchman. There's that fucking Herb. I told Rod, I said, "Look, Rod, something we never see before." And he goes, "Oh yeah, the Herb Alpert Whipped Cream albums."
It's like
dude, I have that album without the googly eyes.
I put googly eyes on it. Now it's worth $20.
I have that in a bin over here. I have to look. It was my mom and dad's album.
$20 dollar record. Now it's $20.
Yeah, I need the Google. Can you just send me the Google eyes? Can you send me them?
For those of you listening, it's an Andy Williams greatest hits record that he put googly eyes on. It
is awesome.
So
$20.
So you were talking about the blues. So what if you're going to tell somebody to buy a blues record? What blues record would you tell them to buy? You said you listen to the blues and stuff like that.
Well, my favorite is Muddy Waters. He's like the Black Elvis. He's the Elvis of the blues. He had the charisma. All the chicks want him. He's got that voice. Muddy, Howlin' Wolf, Little Walter. If you're into harmonica playing, that's good stuff. Lightning Hopkins, any of those guys. Junior Wells. I was lucky enough to see Junior Wells, Coco Taylor, and Buddy Guy all together when everybody was still alive. That's some good stuff. You got to go back to that chess record stuff, really.
Right.
Anything on chess records, you can't go wrong.
That's cool.
And the thing about blues is people think, it all sounds the same.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes to listen to it, but when you play, everybody takes a turn soloing. So playing blues to me is way more fun than listening. So I understand what people.
I understand that completely.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're playing, it's everybody gets their turn to make stuff up.
And everybody will be a little bit rock influenced. Somebody will have a little country influence. Somebody will have this influence. But it's a bluesy type situation.
Well, the blues, country, folk, and early rock and roll is all the same three chords.
Sure.
All that shit goes together. Yeah. Metal don't go with that.
Right.
Nothing against metal, but that ain't campfire stuff. You get around a campfire, 3 or 4 people with acoustics, you can play Mississippi John Hurt, you can play Etta James, you can play Hank Sr., you can play Buck Owens, you can play, and it all goes together. You can play early Elvis. It's all those same rock and roll chords.
So you don't hear Metallica around the campfire?
You don't, no.
Okay, just.
You don't around my campfire.
What was the first record you ever bought with your own money? The first record you bought with your own money?
Oh, I told her this myself, Joan Jett. First time I met her, she walked up. I had my kid behind me, hiding, and she walks up, and we filled out a thing before we went, so I should have known. But she walks up and goes, "So, you're the one with the record store?" I was like, "Here's my kid." I just shoved my kid into her, and she got on the floor and talked to her, and she drew her drawing. And then before we left, I actually was able to. I've met a lot of people, but I've never been like I was with her. You know, it just fucked me up. So then, so I told her, I said, the first record I ever bought with my own money was at TG and Y. I don't know if y'all had those stores.
We had one. We had 3D, and then TGY was across the store.
Well,
in Tell City, Indiana.
And singles and shit.
Right.
So when I Love Rock and Roll was new, I had my mowing money or whatever I had, lunch money I didn't eat on all week and saved it, whatever. That's how I bought all the first 6 Van Halen albums. I didn't eat. I would save my lunch money and I got them all the sets.
So what you're saying is we should eat lunch for the next week before we go down to Rockin' Pod, so we can buy our pile, right?
Right. Y'all's pile's real big too.
Great.
But yeah, I told Joan, I said the first 45 I bought with my own money was I Love Rock and Roll, and the B-side was a song that was on the album, but it was a different version, and it had her manager and keyboard player Kenny Laguna, and had his little 3-year-old daughter on the beginning talking on the version I remember and growing up with.
Right.
Well, it turns out that little kid runs Blackheart Records now for Joan and Kenny.
Oh, cool.
That's weird. But I was able to tell
What was the name of the B-side?
At her age, I bought your record.
What was the name of the B-side?
Cool. And then I said, bye. And she said, nice to meet you. And she didn't have to do that. I walked like 10 feet away. She goes, nice to meet you. I'm like, well, she didn't have to say that.
Right.
You know,
so,
she was real nice.
What was the name of the B-side?
You Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone.
Thank you.
Live studio version.
There you go. Awesome. All right.
Let's move on to talk about the Rockin' Pod.
Yes, let's talk about Rockin' Pod.
I've got the list of the guests right here. This
Go
is the
for it,
update
Mr.
to the list.
Can I run to the boys' room real quick?
You run to the boys' room while we're talking. And make sure that door squeaks because we want our audience to hear that.
Ready?
Yes.
There it is. Oh, it sounds so creepy.
You gotta let it do it it has to do it by itself. Here we go.
All right. So for Rockin' Pod, the guests, and these are not in any particular order, Tony Harnell from TNT, Jason Beeler from Saigon Kick, Michael Sweet of Stryper, David Ellefson of Megadeth, which someone from Ages of Rock will be interviewing Michael Sweet, and I will be interviewing David Ellefson and his partner.
I'll take Michael.
All right, y'all fight it out. Brian Forsyth of Kicks, Erie Vaughn of Danzig. Now I've got to zoom in. Rick Rule, Every Mother's Nightmare. Jack Gibson.
I love Rick.
Of Exodus. Toby Wright, the producer. Jeremy Barbour of Green Jello. Roxy Blue. Tom Hazard of EMP Label Group. Drew Hanna and Jim Darby from Wildside. Steve Barnett from Pump 5, Drew Fortier from Zen from Mars, and our good buddy Anthony Corder from Tora Tora.
Awesome.
And we're doing some live podcasts, and as soon as I find that on the page, I will
We're
give
at
you...
12 o'clock, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
12 o'clock to 12:30.
Well, hold on a minute. I'm going to talk about the other artists, not about when we're going to be on.
We're going to talk about us.
Well... Well, we actually have to talk about us and another one because I'm going to be on another one. Yes, our live podcast is going to be from 12 to 12:30. There's the squeaky door.
Yeah,
there you go.
Go.
And then I believe at 2:15, Digital Killed the Radio Star. They're doing their live podcast, and I'm going to be on that episode. and we're going to be talking about the Motley Crue '94 album.
Let the door go by itself. Let the door go by itself. Shut.
I saw that tour twice.
You go listen to me, Ernest.
Huh?
Well, Dennis, you don't listen to us.
Let the door go shut. Let the door go shut by itself. Oh, you can't. You're smoking. Okay. Yeah. Just let it go.
I saw the '94 tour twice. I saw the sound check. I snuck in.
Awesome.
Right on.
Here it goes. Ready? Don't let it.
You ready? No, you said the '94 Motley Crue. Okay, I saw the tour here in Nashville, and they let everybody on the hill get up front because they didn't sell. And then I went and seen them in Louisville at some place called the Palace or something. It was real fancy, had all this stuff. Well, my friends were out front getting their autographs and stuff and meeting them. Well, I saw opportunity. I snuck inside, and I'm hiding in the seats. And I get to see the sound check. So Nikki walks out and goes, "This place is awesome," you know. And I remember him saying that. And then they played like, what was the acoustic song they did from John's old band? Man in the Moon. They sound checked Man in the Moon, and they did a couple other quiet things. But I got to see the sound check. So afterwards, and they never caught me. And then afterwards, my friends were like, "Look, we got all of our stuff signed." I said, "Yeah, but I saw the sound check."
Cool.
Can't go wrong there. Okay, I've got the list of the live podcasts. 12 to 12:30 is us, Ages of Rock. 12:45 to 1:15 is Cobras and Fire. 1:30 to 2 o'clock is Growing Up Rock. 2:15 to 2:45, Digital Killed the Radio Star. And 5 to 5:30 is the Rock and Metal Combat.
There we go.
So that's all.
Let
that.
them laugh.
And
believe it don't matter, right?
And there are tons and tons and tons of other things going on.
Yeah.
Go to NashvilleRockandPodExpo.com and click on that menu and look at the schedule, and that will tell you everything that's going on for the entire day.
And I'm going to have album flats.
Lots of stuff
for everybody. Like album flats. I've got like Saigon Kick Tracy, Kicks. A lot of the bands that's going to be there. I got album flats. I'll be selling.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
Those are perfect to get signed and framed, you know.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's important too. There's going to be quite a few vendors there. There's going to be people selling merch, and there's going to be JTB will be there strutting his stuff and trying to get Dennis to buy more and buy more and buy more. So it's really cool. If you haven't been, you need to go. Hotel rooms probably still available at the Marriott there at the airport. I'm sure that, and they would love for you to buy a room.
Yes, and all three of us will be there. We'll be all getting down sometime on Friday, and I'm going to try to be down there before because we're going to have a pre-party with 8-Ball, Lipstick, and also the
Rock and Roll Residence.
Damn, I need to hang out with you. You got 8-Ball and Lipstick?
Yeah.
I want to hang out with you, Dennis.
There you go. And then there you go. The band 8-Ball. How's that? And then we have. And then also, Michael Sweet is going to be playing some that night. There's going to be some of the people from the Rock and Pod are going to be playing along with the Rock and Roll Residency.
And those are the jam y'all do at the end with all the podcasters. Those are fun. I got to play drums on a Monkey song one time.
Yep, we'll be playing that. We got about an hour's worth. I think how many songs is there, Alan?
7 or 8.
Playing 4 of the 7 or 8 or whatever it is.
You only do any ZZ Tate?
No ZZ Tate.
Speaking of ZZ Tate, I told Jason this earlier. I went to I bought a new vehicle a couple of weeks ago, and when I went to my insurance agent to get insurance on the new vehicle and taking off the old one, he asked if I was going to audition for the Oak Ridge Boys.
There you go.
That's funny you mentioned Oak Ridge Boys. My first concert, I tell people, when I was like 7 years old, my first concert was Leon Russell. That's what I remember. I seen the old guy with the hat, and he was playing piano. I was like, wow, Leon, I'm still a fan. Well, he just happened to be opening for the Oak Ridge Boys. I kind of leave that part out. And my mom worked at the dentist office when I was a kid, and 3 of the Oak Ridge Boys were customers. So we got all these tour books and shit when I was little of the Oak Ridge Boys.
Any teeth or like old fillings and stuff from the guy?
Yeah.
That's nasty, man. That's nasty.
Well, Jason, before we get out of here,
right.
Pimp your record store, pimp your radio station, pimp whatever you want to pimp, except for Dennis. We pimp him ourselves.
Don't pimp me.
Yeah, I'll mail stuff. Just hit me up on Facebook. If you see something on the Facebook page you like, just message me and I'll mail it. And I do that stuff all the time. And I try to get stuff you don't see everywhere. That's kind of my thing. And Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Then I got the radio station on Live 365. I'll be doing shows on that here and there. Otherwise, it's up and running 24/7. You're going to hear all kind of stuff you forgot about, stuff you never heard, and cool. And I want to say, and I'll be at Rocket Pod again, and those things are great. The Rocket Pod, I can't talk about how great that is. It's if you're into these shows, the podcast, these are great. Like Sean, and you got Bill LM and people like that. They're just fans that listen to all these podcasts, and they drive for miles to come. They're not coming to meet the rock stars. They're coming to meet you guys. And that's just awesome to me. That's really cool. I've made a lot of friends in this community. I always say that I'm the podcaster without a podcast. Y'all have really accepted me in your community, and I feel like I make good friends with a lot of the different shows, and I just love it.
We had a good time being right. Well, we were right next to you last time, wasn't it?
Right. And then
so we had a good time.
And stuff, and
we even turned the show over to you and let you interview Greg, right?
I tried. But it is a neat thing, and it's a neat community, fun. and I just encourage everybody watching this to check out these shows, because all these guys are doing great things. I like y'all's show because there's no pretentious thing happening. Y'all are just rock fans. You don't claim to be nothing in particular.
Especially
so it's
me.
Three guys hanging out and talking. It works, and you're all likable guys. Unlike.
Well, thank you.
Never have Broadrick back. Never. Fuck him.
I told Jason earlier today that the only thing pretentious about us was that we were pretentious wankers.
and we worked at Best Buy.
Well, and the fact is that you're a guy with a lot of vinyl, so we're never going to say don't pay attention to that guy.
That was an accidental promotional genius right there. Because here it is.
That was my idea.
People are still talking about
my idea,
shirts, right? So
right.
People are talking.
That's what it's all about.
I'm gonna bring that shirt, put it on the hanger, and I'm gonna hang it on the thing. I'm gonna bring that shirt along.
All right. Well, on that note, folks, we really hope to see you guys this weekend at Rockin' Pod, and we are going to get out of here. So visit us on agesofrock.com and find all our social media, Stitcher Radio, and all that bullshit. One more time, Jason, thanks for being on the show, and we will see you all next week.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.